none other than the head of the Defense Force in 1998. Now, my prediction is the same will happen here. But I'm aware of the Mail and Guardian article, and I'm aware of the affidavit made by Prince Mokotedi, and I'm aware that Prince Mokotedi himself leaked the affidavit to the media. I would also like to say I have another confession. I'm aware that Prince Mokotedi hears voices. And according to my sources, there are otherworldly voices. Now, be that as it may, Prince Mokotedi must say if they are good voices or bad voices. But I'm going to go back to the serious business now because Mr. Dlamini doesn't like me going off the script. So I think it's fair to say that there have been a number of attempts to get rid of me. Some through the parliamentary process, some through unlawful and unconstitutional means. And those processes are continuing. So it doesn't come as any surprise that the recent allegations have been made. I think first thing to mention is that the allegation made is based on a supposed set of information, hearsay of hearsay, from a single source. And the statement that has been made is must be rejected completely, that there's any illegal activity that IPID and IPID's investigators are involved in. And I'm not aware of any situation where any illegal activity was discussed with me or my investigators or with anybody else. Now, Paul O'Sullivan is a complainant in a number of matters against members of DPCI and the police. In terms of our experience with Paul O'Sullivan, his information has always been accurate. And even on instances where we thought he was not correct, it was later found out that his information is correct. Now, as a complainant, we will regularly meet with him. He will assist us with investigations, as is the duty of every citizen and every organ of state to assist IPID with its investigations. So that's a given that we will meet with complainants. We do it regularly. It's a normal thing. SAPS does it. DPCI does it also. I have had requested meetings in the, within a month of returning from suspension with the heads of SARS, DPCI, the National Director of Public Prosecutions, and the Acting National Commissioner. It's only the Acting National Commissioner that I've been able to meet with. Yesterday, warning statements were taken from General Ntlemeza relating to a number of cases and complaints that were made against him. And we were also supposed to take a warning statement from General Patlane, but that didn't happen. I was also supposed to meet with General Ntlemeza yesterday. The meeting was cancelled on Sunday evening. So the date of the 12th was very important, both for Acting Commissioner Patlane and for Ntlemeza. Also, yesterday, a docket against Commissioner Patlane was submitted to the Director for Public Prosecutions. So the 12th is very important. Therefore, it comes as no surprise that on the 12th, in the evening, charges are laid against me. Now, when you charge the head of any important organization like IPID, you must have your facts right. You must have done all your investigation, and you must be sure of your facts. As we did in the matter of Flock Symington, with the Crimes Against the State unit. We first investigated thoroughly before we registered on the CAS system. We are sure of our facts there. In all of the cases that we deal with, where we do not have facts to substantiate an allegation, we say so. And this we have done on a number of occasions. But where we have, we go ahead, and it's up to the NPA to decide on the way forward. Now, in this particular matter, the charge was laid yesterday based on one source, an informant, a person who gets paid for information. In this case, I would assume peddling information. And immediately it's leaked to the media, and the story is broken by the source himself. So those are issues which one should consider. But here's the thing. I would like to challenge the complainant in this matter, General Prince Mokotedi, that both of us, him and I, do a polygraph live on TV together at the same time. And we'll pay for it. And I think no matter what you do, no matter what angle you come with, the truth cannot be changed by smoke and mirrors. This is a harebrained scheme similar to the fire pool story. And we have no fear about this. This will collapse like the rendition matter collapsed, like it will collapse against Sibia and Dramat. It's a harebrained scheme, and it continues to be such. We are unafraid, we are unintimidated. The timing of these charges is very critical, and people should interrogate that. But I think I will open for questions now.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. McBride. Let's take questions. I know some of you, but I'm going to ask you to state your name in any event. So, we start at the back there, and then the gentleman, lady.
What you said you know.
Yeah, of course. Yes, yes, you man.
Hello, I'm Veronique from McBride. I actually want to speak to Mr. Sissoko. I want to ask him if he can help us with details around the case against Mr. Mkhize and Mr. Mashlane, please.
Okay, next question. Gentleman here.
Good afternoon, Barry Bateman, Eyewitness News. Mr. McBride, in these allegations levelled by Prince Mokotedi, he refers to a meeting in late December at Radovan Kretsch's former house where there was yourself, Shadrach Spear, there was a crime intelligence agent, people from AfriForum, the DA, and various other parties. Is there any truth to that allegation? Was there such a meeting at Kretsch's house? Who was there? What was the purpose of the meeting?
Okay, yes. Okay, all right. No question? All right. Can we take the answers then?
Okay. You want me to go for it? Okay, the first one, there was a meeting on 3rd of December at a house in Bedford View. To my knowledge, there was no DA members or AfriForum members there. There were some people at the meeting who I didn't know. The meeting was to discuss the Join the Dots document, amongst other matters. During the meeting, no discussion was held on anything that was untoward or improper. We received an invitation to attend to discuss those of us who are mentioned in the docket, in the document, and that's what we did.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sissoko.
With regard to cases we are investigating against General Mkhize and General Phahlane, with regard to General Phahlane, we received a complaint of allegations of corruption that is still under investigation. While the investigations were proceeding, there were allegations of defeating the ends of justice. So these investigations are still continuing, and the matter with regard to allegations of defeating the ends of justice is with the NPA as we speak. With regard to General Mkhize, As the Executive Director indicated, we've obtained warning statement on 2 matters that are investigated against him, and the matters will also be referred to the NPA for decision. The matters are related to the complaint by Major General Boysons, and they relate to allegations of fraud, perjury, and criminal injury.
All right, thank you very much.
If I could just follow up on that one, the cases that were laid against complaints against Generals Ntlemeza and Patlane were made in March of this year. No work was done on those investigations of any substance in my absence. Upon my return in October, the complaints were picked up again, and they were found to be quite substantial and to carry significant weight on both matters on both generals. As to why no work was done in my absence, that is a matter for a different investigation.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Questions? It's very, very clear, no? No? Yes, there's a hand in the back from Amanda. Yes, sir.
Sipom of the Local Times newspaper. Mr. McBride, you just mentioned that your charging came after the investigations against the and against Amanda. Are you saying your charging is purely based on those actions that have been taken, or there are other elements that sort of influence these charges? Are there any elements of fractional patterns within the ANC that are linked to charges?
Could you just speak a bit louder? I can't really hear you there. The last question that you said?
The last question is, are you saying the charges that are brought against you, you're saying you're not surprised because they come after the investigations against Ntlemeza and Pashan gained some momentum? Are you saying that's exclusively linked to that, or it has an element of the fractional values within the ANC?
Okay, I'll take that after the other questions have come in.
Okay. Right. Amanda, what did you say?
Mr. McBride, the allegation that you guys might be related to the meeting in Michelangelo Hotel earlier in March this year, yourself, Mr. Sabir, Mr. O'Sullivan, and Mr. Tsier. Is there any substance to that allegation, and that you might be plotting this assassination attempt on people?
Okay.
All right, let's take you, ma'am.
My name is Kelvin. I'm from ANN7. Just wanted to ask why a meeting was held in a particular house, because it was an official meeting. Why not in an IPLID office? Why not in your office?
Okay, we understand the subject of the meeting, eh? Do you understand the subject of the meeting? Why? Okay. Can you clarify that?
Okay.
When you answer?
Let me start with the... What is Barry there?
Yes,
Yeah.
It emerged a couple of weeks ago that in an affidavit that there were various Hawks officials that were trying to get former witnesses in matters related to incidents during your tenure at the Ekurhuleni Metro Police. Is that plot to have you unseated by accusing you of crimes related from back then any way linked to what is currently happening now? Is Prince Mokotedi linked to those investigations? Is there any development in that complaint that was lodged with IPLID?
Well, I'll start with the last one now first again. Barry, that last matter you referred to, the one where there was an attempt to implicate me, well, that's been completely derailed by, I think it was a story that you ran. So that is completely gone. It will not raise its ugly head ever again. And the issue related to why was it was on a Saturday, and it was by invitation. And that is why. My understanding was it was an informal meeting, and because we are mentioned in the joining dots document, joining of the dots, that our points of view on the matter were discussed. So, and the fact that the invitation was coming from Paul O'Sullivan was not anything sinister for me. On the matter of the factions, there is one I left out. I'm not sure. I'll come back to that. The second question. Who asked the second question? Oh, no, it was Amanda. Amanda, the Michelangelo issue, there's no such a meeting ever took place. It's, and from what I understand in South Africa and in terms of the Constitution, meetings are not illegal. I think it's still the case. Last time I checked, I still think we're allowed to meet. Otherwise, all of you guys here are in a conspiracy with me. And the issue of factions, we can't comment on factions, really. It's not our business. We got a specific mandate, including systemic corruption and corruption. And that's what we're really busy with. Now, we've also taken a strategic decision in IPED, based on smaller budgets that we got, the fact that a lot of the budget was used. Where do we most optimally utilize our resources? And a decision was taken by senior management that we must focus on systemic corruption and corruption of senior officials. That's where we want to go, because that makes the most impact, including causing senior officials in Hawks to make false allegations against us. It's not the first time. If you remember, there was a case against us with the renditions, a wonderful word, renditions. And that case fell flat, and we said from the beginning that case is dead, from the first day, and it fell flat. I heard the minister on the radio yesterday saying this matter has not been ventilated in court and the merits haven't been discussed. There are no merits in that matter. And that's why they could not proceed with any prosecution. We had our warning our 115 statements, our plea statements ready, which we want to say to the whole world. And they denied us their chance because they had nothing to come with. Again, they will have nothing to come with. Let's do the polygraph. Let's leave out all the allegation, hints, and innuendo. Let's do the polygraph live on TV.
Right, thank you very much. Last round, we close. Okay. All right, you sir. At the back and you man. Okay, very last.
Mr. McBride, everything that is happening, do you think it's got something to do with your political career and your credentials, political credentials? That you're being attacked like this and thrown under the bus?
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Sipo?
Sipo Mabena again from the Times. Mr. McBride, how would you describe the environment in which you operate? If you could just pour your heart out.
Thank you. I'll pour my heart out. But let me deal with the issue of political credentials. I head an organization which is supposed to be independent and supposed to investigate without fear, favor, or prejudice, and that's what I intend to do. I don't know, it's up to other people to comment on my credentials. I don't have any political intentions or desires. I just want to work, and I really love fighting against corruption and exposing and getting the worms out of the woodwork. I think just maybe a word of caution to Prince Mokotedi is that if you are playing with a cat and you think you are playing with a cat, be very careful that the cat is not playing with you. On the other issue about pouring my heart out, we attract a lot of attention because we separate people from their ill-gotten gains, and in particular, police people. And that's our investigations are designed to uncover corruption within the police service, systemic corruption or general corruption. Now, people who are recipients of ill-gotten gains do not want to be separated from the ill-gotten gains. So we attract attention, so there's always a pushback. At the time when myself and Sissoko got unlawfully and unconstitutionally suspended, we were busy with an investigation involving the police commission of KZN and a businessman in Durban. And we were also involved in an investigation where there was a bribery attempt on the head of GPCI in KZN. And that's when we got suspended, at a critical stage in that investigation. That investigation has gone full circle 18 months later. And we've had an announcement that certain people will be prosecuted as a result of that investigation. Until today, they have not been brought before a court. Someone should be asking the question, why have they not been brought before the court? That's a question people need to ask. So in terms of pouring my heart out, I'd say we expect it. If we can't take the heat, we must get out to the kitchen. Unfortunately for some people, we know how to take heat. And I've got my team behind me, and we're working 24/7. None of us claim overtime. We work because that's our passion. IPID is a small organization, but we function on heartbeat, not on money.
Right. Thank you very much, Polly and Barry, to close off.
Mr. McBride, it seems as if there's a massive fight spilling out into the open in the top echelons of police and justice clusters. Can you put that into context for us and tell us if I'm right and what is happening here? People are scared, and the people on the ground doesn't know how to interpret this.
Okay, yesterday there was a warning statement taken from Ntlhameza. During the taking of the warning statement, Ntlhameza indicated to Mr. Sissoko, and Mr. Sissoko can talk further about it. Well, first, two things he said. He pointed to one of my investigators and said, if the white people want to put me in jail, as you said to one of my investigators. Second thing he said is, this is just a game. You're taking my warning statement now, we'll be taking your warning statement tomorrow. So, when we start an investigation, there is counter investigations, like Commissioner Patlane. And it's not that he was unaware of there's an investigation, because Khamanyane, who was acting here, met with him and told him there was an investigation in March 2016. Maybe that's the meeting that Prince Mokotedi is referring to, between Khamanyane and Patlane. So that's the meeting that took place where Patlane was made aware of the corruption investigations against him. Now, Patlane then said he's unhappy with the fact that the complainant accompanies the investigators during the investigation process. That's completely crazy. You can use your complainant to assist you with an investigation. But I'll just stop there in case Mr. Sissoko wants to add something on.
Okay. All right. Last one, Barry.
Yeah, it's just two short questions. Firstly, I trust that statement by Mr. Ntlhameza, that the tit for tat, you take mine today, take tomorrow, that is noted in whatever statement it is in affidavit. Just confirm that for me. And secondly, pardon my ignorance, what is the Connect the Dots document that you refer to?
Well, the Connect the Dots document is basically a document drafted on commission by AfriForum to Paul O'Sullivan. Paul O'Sullivan is a complainant in most of the cases, has pulled the different aspects of different cases in the criminal justice system, and mainly starting from about May 2014, where after the new ministers were appointed. And it details investigations which link a lot of different seemingly unconnected aspects. And what you will notice in there is that there has been, in the Hawks, in IPID, in SARS, in SAPS, there's been the effects of a war of attrition where people have been knocked out one at a time. And these attacks, and one can extend it now to the SABC, because the instability in SABC took place at the same time as the instability that was initiated in the other 4 anti-corruption organizations. So joining the dots tries to make sense of the timing. Like I'm sure joining the dots will try to make sense of the timing of the charges that were laid yesterday. Timing is everything. Somebody's on a program and they're on a timetable and they have to do certain things at a certain time. Hence the clumsiness with which they do it, the unlawfulness. And we are aware in our investigations, and people make mention of treason. We are aware of another group of people who are involved in something that is probably can be described as treason. No shots have been fired, but it's a group of people who call themselves the engine room. And now that I've mentioned it, you might ask Minister Nathi Nhlego about the engine room. He has a lot of information about it. One of the other investigations we are investigating, a complaint was laid about a Leon Mbangwa or Lionel Moyo, depends on which country you're in and how you know him, who was a chief of staff for the minister. Now there's dispute about his origins and his true identity. And there is an investigation which was laid with Prince Mokotedi about that. Now let him deal with that. Why would a foreigner with a criminal record be the chief of staff of the Minister of Police? That is something to investigate. If you're looking for treason, go and look there. It's a good place to start from.
All right, thank you very much. That brings us to the end of the briefing. We're not going to have one-on-ones. If you missed your opportunity to ask questions,